Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 35th part of What If Deku Was Sanji's Reincarnation, my Heroes Reborn. The author of this great fanfic is Emily. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 35, Almost Summer Break. Priestess tried to portray herself as mysterious with a bit sinister thrown in. She would pray for the souls she would reawaken. And just give off that kind of air. In reality she was a mess. It was her choice to remember the lives she reawoken. And whenever someone fought back she would look in her target's memories. And sometimes she would if she was bored, as not everyone fought back after all. However, when pushed to the edge and someone exceptionally strong appeared, or she got her butt kicked by a comedy writer, she would go for a drink. This was very rare, however, as only happened with her fight with Hibiki, Yuzu, the USJ, and another incident that happened after the USJ. But it wasn't after a fight, it was something else. But still, the chances that it was on a day where prospects showed up. Prospects who wanted to join the league because of the so-called ties to Stain. Well, Shigaraki was going to watch the fireworks. Hey! 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 Sailor Moon! Yelled Priestess, I need your opinion on something. What? Asked Jiren. Not you. Her. She's got a Sailor Fuku and Odangos. Yelled Priestess, so she's Sailor Moon. The girl stared at the drunken villain, unsure what was going to happen next. Okay. What is worse, a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist who became a superhero during midlife, or a martial artist race car driving paleologist teacher who became a superhero in his teens? Asked Priestess, or at least I think it was his teens. He didn't look like a teenager at the time. Why did you want my opinion? Asked the girl, confused. Because I wanted an excuse to call you Sailor Moon. Laughed Priestess, because you are totally Sailor Moon. In the name of the moon. Is she like this all the time? Asked the girl. No, only when a fight goes exceptionally badly does she act like this. Said Kurojiri. Don't sugarcoat it, Cloud Guy. I'm fixated right now. And don't you forget it. Yelled Priestess. So should we just ignore her? Asked the man. Hey, are those piercings or surgical staples? Asked Priestess, because if they're staples then dang girl. If they're piercings then that means you're emo. And I don't like them emos. Maybe it's better if none of us pay attention to the drunk villain. Said Jiren. Wait, did I say stables? Oh man. You got ponies in your face. Yelled Priestess. This girl might look like an unassuming schoolgirl, but she's behind a series of murders where the victims bled out. Said Jiren. Toga's the name, Himiko Toga. I'm a big fan of Stainy. I want to be him. I want to kill him. I want. Said the girl named Toga. Oh my god. Sailor Moon is a creepy stalker fangirl who kills people. Yelled Priestess, I don't know if that's awesome or scary. Is she going to pass out soon? Asked Jiren. I don't go night-night. Yelled Priestess. Now this guy, he hasn't committed any flashy crimes but... Said Jiren. Does this group really match up with Stain's mission? Said the man. Hey! I am better than Stain. No life lost. And I have taken out far many heroes than that douche nozzle. Granted. I'm not perfect, I mean I just unleashed the All Might equivalent of another world into this one. He was nowhere close to All Might in strength, but he was the one that everyone looked up to if they were a hero in that world. Which crazy. Because he started a brainwashed puppet but then he became super awesome. Yelled Priestess. The man stared Priestess. You know you haven't introduced yourself. Said Shigaraki to the man, she might be nuts but at least she introduced herself. Tell us who you are, mysterious stranger. Who's hopefully not an emo. Yelled Priestess. I go by Dabi. Said the man known as Dabi. That's no cool. Said Shigaraki, give me your real name.
I will when you need to know," said Dobby. "That's fair," said Priestess. "I'm really drunk right now. And I know not give my real name. Spreading our real names is a bad idea. And I'm with you. Even if you're emo." The two prospects looked at Priestess. "So are you sure she's not always drunk?" asked Toga.
"If I was, then there wouldn't be hundreds of heroes down,"
yelled Priestess.
Shigaraki gritted his teeth. It was clear the plan to scare them away with drunk Priestess wasn't working.
"You know I'm getting tired of hearing all about Stain," said Shigaraki.
And so enough, a fight was about to break out. However, Kurogiri stopped all of them with his quirk. He managed to get Shigaraki to stop fighting and clam him down enough. He then left in a huff, with Kurogiri assuring the two that it was needed.
"So, if you're going to join after all, get drunk with me," yelled Priestess.
Kurogiri sighed. He knew he had to work out with a plan with her later. The next day at UA, the 4 students who failed their exam were depressed.
"Oh come on, I'm sure there's going to be a last-minute twist," assured Izuku. "You succeeded, Pirate Man," said Kaminari. "Please don't call me that," said Izuku. "I just got lucky he got really distracted." "You're overpowered, Midoriya," said Kaminari. "You probably went easy on the guy." "Please. Deka held back during the exam, and he knows it," said Bakugo. "What did you say, Gunpowder Sweat?" said Izuku, entering Sanji mode.
"We both know you could have taken the exam all on your own,"
said Bakugo. "You were the one insisting we work together," reminded Izuku. "Oh man. I would have started to get along after the exams,"
said Kirishima with a sweat drop as the two were glaring at each other.
"They are, kind of," said Toru, showing up. "Their relationship is weird now."
Kirishima looked at Bakugo and realized that the two had talked things out, but it was going to take a while for things to completely heal between them. That was also when the 4 who had completely failed each had a plate of cupcakes in their hands.
Should you even have any?" Mina asked Sato. "Mine has artificial sweeteners. We talked about it a while back," said Sato. "Oh, cool," said Mina. That was when Aizawa came into the room. Everyone headed to their seat quickly. "Now let's discuss your results," said Aizawa. "Fide, you failed the practical exam. So when it comes to the training camp, everyone is going." All of the students that failed cried in relief. The good news is that no one failed the written exam. But 5 failed the practical exam. 2 teams and Siro, who was knocked out during the exam. "Oh man!" yelled Siro. Then a plate of cupcakes appeared on his desk. The teachers all made sure that there would be a way to win against them. They wanted obverse how the two of you worked as a team and what you could accomplish, said Aizawa, "but I do have to point something out about that. Yayorozu, Ojiro. Both of you passed because we forgot to take into account what sort of abilities you gained from your past lives." Both Momo and Mashireo blushed. Aizawa sighed and though back to a conversation he had the day before. Flashback. "Aizawa!" called out Hibiki. Aizawa turned around and saw Hibiki. Hibiki sighed. "You knew about Bakugo trying to change himself, didn't you?" "I noticed it," said Aizawa. "Why didn't you tell me?" asked Hibiki. "I thought it would be better for you to find out for yourself," said Aizawa. "I see," said Hibiki. Aizawa stared at Hibiki. "You were right about Yayorozu, by the way," said Aizawa. "I thought so," said Hibiki. "I haven't really talked to her about power levels, but thanks to context clues for Mizuku I figured she had to be very strong." "Seriously?" asked Aizawa. "Seriously," said Hibiki. "Look, it's not on me if you haven't tested their skills. My job is to make sure the worst doesn't happen to their minds." Aizawa sighed when he said that. End of flashback. There was a serve oversight after the USJ. Yaoyorozu, Ojiro, Hagakure, Uraraka, and Midoriya. Sometime during the training camp you will be tested on your abilities, so there isn't a repeat of what happened during the final exam. Said Aizawa, even if it was only Yaoyorozu and Ojiro who completely blew away expatiations. The 5 students all sighed. That was some. A few students raised their hands. No. I don't think you'll be able to watch the tests, but nothing's been finalized. Said Aizawa. Those who did raise their hands put them down. They talked more about the upcoming camp, with Aizawa pointing out that the camp was meant for training, with the ones who failed would have extra training. With Ida upset about his lies, as it was not the first lie he told the class. Though he made no promises to lies that anymore. During lunch, of course the usual group ate together, plus Todoroki, who decided to join them for lunch. Did you talk to Hibiki about your personality shifts? Said Izuku. I did. Sighed Ochako. Flashback. Before everyone left school, Hibiki decided to call Yuzu. Stop laughing, Yuzu. It's not that funny. Yelled Hibiki. Ochako knocked on the door. I have to go, Chancellor stuff. Said Hibiki. No, it's not Izuku asking about that. I'm hanging up. He hung up. So, if this about Izuku's exam, talk to him. I don't know he'd say anything, but please don't ask me. Said Hibiki. No, it's not about that. Said Ochako, something's been going on. Really, what? Asked Hibiki. Ochako explained the increase of personality shifts she'd been having. That's weird, but there have been cases where it happened before. Said Hibiki. Okay. Said Ochako. So when does it happen? Asked Hibiki. Well, from what I remember. Said Ochako, who began to blush a little and fiddle with her fingers. It's times when I'm talking to Deku, sometimes when he's putting himself down, and I can't help but to praise him. Oh. Said Hibiki, coming to a realization. Oh, yeah, what was your relationship with your husband like? What? Asked Ochako. Not that stuff, more like the way you interacted. Said Hibiki. Well, we loved each other very much. Said Ochako. What about before you got together? Asked Hibiki. Well, I had the biggest crush on him for the longest time. It was hard to talk to him when we were younger because I was so shy and. Said Ochako. That was when she realized what was going on. Wait, you don't think that? Looks like it. Said Hibiki. Ochako blushed. Look. It's fine. Assured Hibiki. How can it be fine? Asked Ochako. Said Hibiki, trying to find reassuring words. What the idiot is trying to say is that getting love advice from an idiot who was a playboy in his past life is a bad idea for a teenaged girl. Said Aiko. Well, I was a grown woman in my past life, it's not that. Said Ochako. It's what then? Said Hibiki. It's pudding. Said Ochako. Okay. What you do with that? Said Aiko. Pudding is a person. Said Hibiki. Oh. Said Aiko. Wait, who names their kid Pudding? Aiko. Go home. Said Hibiki, knowing she had to leave. Yes, sir. Said Aiko. Both of them breathed a sigh of relief when she left. Look, Ochako, like I said, I'm not the best person to give love advice, especially to a teenaged girl. Said Hibiki, but you'll never know if he's willing to date you despite everything unless you tell him. I know I've been giving this advice a lot lately, but you don't have to tell him now, but getting your feelings off your chest should help with personality shifts, but it's up to you. Ochako sighed. What if he doesn't get? I don't mean platonically. Asked Ochako. What kind of question is that? Asked Hibiki. Ochako didn't say anything. Oh, you married an idiot. Said Hibiki, so how long did it take for his thick skull for him get it? Please stop. said Ochako. Hibiki sighed as he remembered something. Just remember that bit of awkwardness after that session. Said Hibiki, it went both ways. What do you mean? Asked Ochako. Hibiki sighed when she said. Teens are so dumb. He thought. That was when Aiko's device started beeping. What does that mean? Asked Ochako. It means Aiko needs to talk now. Said Hibiki, it's not a snarky comment either. If this happens, whatever it is, extremely important. He tapped on the device. Priestess attacked another hero today. Said Aiko, and he fought back. Was it indiscriminately? Asked Hibiki. No, thankfully. Said Aiko. I guess I should leave. Said Ochako, knowing it was more important. You should. Said Hibiki, nodding. Ochako left as Hibiki got more details on Priestess' latest victim. End of flashback. It's just an aspect of my past life personate that's just showing up for some reason. She told him. Are you sure? Asked Izuku. Yeah, totally fine. Said Ochako, who began think, someone please change the subject. I can't believe they only just realized there was a mistake in not testing your abilities. Said Ida. I'm not surprised. Said Todoroki, after what Yaoyorozu showed what she could do. I think that's when Aizawa realized he made it a mistake. Wait, what happened during your exam? Asked Ida. She lifted a large backpack of weapons like it was nothing. Said Todoroki. Momo blushed. Wow. Really? Asked Toru. It's true. He wasn't expecting that. I mostly used my skill during the actual fight though. Said Momo. You only used a fraction of that skill in the sports festival. Said Izuku. Momo counted to blush. By the way, what's going on with Bakugo? Asked Mashireo to Izuku. We're talking now. Said Izuku. You mean you're talking to him? Said Ochako. Yeah. I found out he's going through some stuff. Said Izuku, and he does regret everything, but I'm still angry with him, but things are better between us. You got in an argument with him, how is that better? Asked Ida. It's kind of like a relationship I had with one of my crewmates. We constantly were at each other's throats, but we were like brothers in both good and bad ways. Said Izuku, it's almost like that. I see. Said Ida. Was it Moss Head? Asked Mashireo. They knew it had to be Moss Head, they just wanted to make fun of that. Please don't make fun of that right now. Sighed Izuku. In his past life he made fun of him for having green hair. Said Ochako. Maybe it's karma. Said Todoroki. Please stop. Izuku practically cried. After class, everyone was talking about the training camp, of course, mainly gear they needed. That was when Toru suggested to go on a shopping trip as a class. Come on Bakugo, you should go. Said Toru. Yeah. Said Kirishima. He looked at the two. Whatever. Muttered Bakugo. Will you be able to come, Todoroki? Asked Izuku. No. I visit my mom on days off. Said Todoroki. Oh, okay. Said Izuku. And so the next day, most of the class ended up in the mall together. While there the class was at the mall, they quickly got recognized. It's UA's class 1A. Yelled a person in the crowd. Awesome. Said another person. They remember us from the sports festival. Said Momo. I don't think it's just it. Said Izuku. Awesome. It's the cinnamon roll. He is super cute. Said one of the people. Wait, is that Kirishima or Tetsu? I can't tell the difference. Said another of the people.
Someone was playing a certain song on their phone, aka the song from the background of that video. And of course those memes have yet to die," said Mashireo. Izuku was just hiding his face in embarrassment while Kirishima comforted him. After all, the memes about him and Tetsu hadn't died yet either.
"Okay, will one of you tell me what's with that song?" yelled Bakugo. "He hasn't found that video yet, has he?" asked Kaminari. "Do you want to die from being the one to tell him?" asked Mineta. "No way!" yelled Kaminari.
As everyone needed different things, they all split up.
Izuku, Achiko and Mashireo ended up in a small group.
"I'm so glad you're here with us, Mashireo,"
said Achiko. "Really, why?" asked Mashireo. "No reason," said Achiko. "Since you know," said Izuku, "what do you need?" "Well," said Mashireo. "Oh hey! You guys are UA students," said a voice.
A guy wearing a hoodie suddenly wrapped his arm around Izuku.
"You're the adorable cinnamon roll that one, aren't you?" said the guy. "Aiko, why?" thought Izuku with a sweat drop. "You're also one of the ones that ran into the hero killer, aren't you?" asked the guy.
"I?"
said Izuku.
"It's nice to see you again, even if you don't remember our first meeting,"
said the guy. "First meeting?" asked Izuku.
That was when, much like with the Nomu, he began to get flashes of the USJ, this time of Shigaraki.
"Who are you?" asked Mashireo.
Shigaraki wrapped his hand around Izuku's neck but not touching with his middle finger.
Both Achiko and Mashireo were unsure what to do. Meanwhile, in the bar. "So he hasn't come back yet?" said Priestess. "No," answered Kirojiri. "Figures," said Priestess. "Juice me, and I mean actual juice." Kirojiri looked at her. "I'm still embarrassed by the incident too,"
muttered Priestess. "I don't remember any of it, but man, fourth time I got drunk like that, and of course there's prospects to see me like that."
"Fifth," said Kirojiri. "What?" asked Priestess.
"It was the fifth time," said Kirojiri. "During the sports festival you showed up laughing manically and talking about how at the USJ it turned out you unleashed a reality warper onto the world and then demanded all the cupcake vodka I could find."
"I don't remember any of that," said Priestess. "It happened," said Kirojiri. "No, I completely believe you," said Priestess. "I can't remember anything after that invisible girl took out a bazooka that shot cupcakes. That explains half of it. Anyways, Master suggested something that might be a good compromise for Shigaraki either way," said Kirojiri. "Really, why the need to run it by me?" asked Priestess suspiciously.
"Master suggests we should contact the fallen souls,"
said Kirojiri. "What?" asked Priestess, paling considerably. "None of them should follow Stain's teachings," said Kirojiri. "Yeah, but they're more than likely want to kill me," said Priestess. "But of course it's Shigaraki's choice, damn it." Back at the mall. "Oh come, don't be that, we should have a nice chat,"
said Shigaraki. "Come on, just like old friends."
"What is your quirk?" asked Izuku.
"Decay," said Shigaraki. "If I touch something with all 5 fingers.
I think you know what might happen."
Izuku began to sweat as he looked at his 2 friends.
Yeah, this was definitely a bad situation, and none were quite sure how to get out of it at the moment. That will be it for this part.
I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 36.
If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.